can tell the sun's getting lower in the sky as fall comes into view. Anyway, I've got to replace my... It's interesting. That's a great big old elk track right there. There's a Bigfoot track right here. That's weird. Look at that. What's that? Anyway, that's really weird. I mean, weird. That almost looks like it was... I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stones in the creek. But they're the big, awkward stones. They're not river stones. Here's shit moving. Activity in here. I mean, a lot. I mean, the bow hunt started, but they don't bow hunt up in here much. Too far out of the way, and I mean, I'm sure some people get... I've never seen a tree stand or anything in this area, though. Not one. Ow. It's just weird. Turning this on because I can hear shit sneaking around, but it's not the normal rustle thing I usually hear. It almost makes me think it's a damn mountain lion. Hope not. Can handle a lot of stuff, but mountain lion. When they decide they want you, they'll take you. That's just all there is to it. This looks like some kind of a war zone. This is the area that's directly south of the zone. So the zone's here, but I'm south of it. On the south side of the rocks. I'm trying to get back up there to see if that bone is still on the cliff. That's what I want to see today. I wanted to go further, but it's already getting late. I'm not staying tonight, although a big thumbs up. I had some guys come up and The one guy's an engineer, an electrical engineer, young guy. He put that thing, he put his hands on that thing, did a couple of things, and that thing's working like a charm. Showed me what to do in the future, and said that because I have a bad generator that was powering, that'll cause you grief all the time if it's not a good generator to kick on and recharge your batteries after your batteries go down, like if it's snowing or raining. Because it was snowing and raining, well, it was just raining for about a week up here, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, well, 3 months ago, because that solar's been down for a while. So he got it done and going. It's charging right now. And when I come back up this week, I gotta come back up in a couple days to check it. And I'm gonna stay the night. And I'm gonna do some filming at night. I've got all this stuff I need to use that I don't use. Night vision, thermal imaging, don't know how excited I am to do it alone, but I might take my AR or my M4. That's what I'll take. I'll sling it. And the 45, just to be safe. Be loaded down. But I'll feel better. Anyway. I mean, just being in these kind of places alone is creepy enough, let alone at night. You know? That's the kind of shit scary movies are made of. I sure in hell don't want to be in one. Or the story behind one, especially. Oh, some bastard got wiped out up in the mountains. Nobody knows why. He was ripped apart. Not happening. I've already got to the rocks. I think. I haven't been on this side, so I don't know. This is weird how this goes up like this. It doesn't seem like I walked up this high, but I guess I did. Huh. It just seems really weird. Heck, what I should do is make that rock area a dang gifting zone, but it's just too damn far. There's no way I would be able to hike up here as often as I should if it's a gifting area. I'm not seeing those rocks. Huh. Well, that right there is don't pass, go, get your ass kicked. It's weird. Sentinel. The kind of areas that you usually find those piled up rocks, but I don't see any. Interesting. I don't remember hiking this high up. I may have. is an area that if you don't know your directions, you're done. You might as well just be done. Lay down, get in the fetal position, start sucking on your thumb, because it's over. Even if you got on top of those rocks, you wouldn't be able to see where you were going. Because as soon as you get down, even if you have a direction, you're going to drift off that direction because you can't get aerial marker or a line of sight marker. And so we'll drift. And as we drift, we start to circle. As we start to circle, the time starts to pass. And as the time starts to pass, that's weird, huh? Look at that. A rock on that tree, or that branch, or whatever the hell that is. That must have been an old structure. Man, this place has been used. You know? I mean, it's a really cool place. But even for me, it's creepy. Especially this time of day. Once it starts to get evening, that's when the predators begin to hunt. And I'm just hoping I haven't pissed anything off. That's why I don't bring any food anywhere. Because even if they were just trying to make a point like bring me more food, they could snap my neck in a heartbeat. Anyway. Alright, I'm gonna work down so I don't ruin my battery all the way. Listen. Damn hair in my neck standing up. There's something out there. Something's out there. It's driving me insane. Hiding spot. Those rocks. Just go and go and go. You'd be surprised how many people rip me for making so much noise with my feet. But you know, I'd give them $100. They could go out in this area, film, without making noise like this. But it isn't gonna happen. You can't walk on shale and also on pine cones and expect to be quiet. And you can't miss every pine cone here because you go insane trying to. You'd basically not move. It's weird. Huh. See, I think that was probably some kind of a structure at one point. I don't know. Maybe not. Well, I don't know. I may have missed the weird right to, isn't it? Is there a limb or a branch right there? There's no trees anywhere. Okay, I may have missed it. Maybe it's down further. I'll check down further too. I'm gonna walk through here and just make sure. Yeah, I would have thought it was back there. Huh. There's a damn meat bee. Nope, there it is. Okay, that's not in the same place, is it? You tell me, because I don't remember. I know it was on the rock, but I don't think it was on the crack. I don't know, for some reason this is making me nervous as hell right now. Look at that. And I'm not sure that was not eaten off. We need to look and see if that was like that before. I don't remember that. Okay, but it may be. Guys, just sit in there. Not very high off the ground. Nothing else though, just that moved. I think it's been moved. I'm not sure because I don't have the footage right now. It's been moved 2 or 3 times. Anyway. Oof. Okay. It's going to be really difficult for me to handle that night track. You know, I do that night track, and at that point, I'm just all man. Nobody can take anything away at that point. That's just manhood. Well, or psychoticness. One of the two. Probably more leaning towards the nutty side. But still, there's an adrenaline that pumps through you when you're walking through this stuff. Knowing that any second you could run into a being you don't want to face to face. Hell, even have a mountain lion attack you. I can just hear. Like been set there. Look. It has been set there. Like that was a trail crossing or something. See? Huh. That's a completely different kind of a log. Now the thing that I worry about is these things can be within 20 yards of me and I couldn't see them. And then a lot of you guys will go and find them when you're going through the video. And that creeps me out too, because then I have to see how damn close they are. I mean, they're that close and they don't attack though, so you kind of have to take it as, you know, they don't want my head on a platter. You know, I've never understood how people don't like the outdoors. I mean, I understand and you know they don't want to walk around like I am, but at the same time, you know, just to get out, breathe, good air, walk, even if it's around the block, you know. But if you have a goal, like if you're a rock count, just to find cool rocks, or if you're like me, narrowhead, or on the other side of the coin, a bigger goal, Sasquatch. And I'll tell you right now, you get involved in that, you're going to be consumed, and it doesn't go away. Never. Trust me, I've tried. There's a lot of positioned trees, but I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. Some people think a lean tree means a direction, and it may. But up here it would be one hell of a weird direction, because they go from one to another, to south, to east, to southeast, to southwest, just over and over. Anyway, you don't know how creepy that noise is. I would rather it be screaming. Too far down off that other side, or I'll never make it back. It'll be dark. See, when I come up at night, I'm gonna come up in the evening, probably another 3 hours later than this. So you had to have heard that. You had to have. Anyway, I'm still a long ways out too. So like 3 hours later than this, so it'll be right at the time where it's just dusk. You had to have heard that. It's circling me. That one's ahead of me, that last one was behind me. Or to the side. That scared the hell out of me for a minute. Something with hands. It's got to be pulling these clear out in chunks, because they'd be in a pile if it was an animal. See that kind of thing. It's small, You know, most people would pass that by, but that is something. To me, that's as strange as anything. Thick as hell right here. Look at that. As the crow flies, I'd say it's 10 miles up in here. Well, not 10 miles, I'd say 10 miles round trip as the crow flies. But with me, it's more because I stop and go down and back up and try not to miss anything, which is insane because you can't not miss half of 99% of the mountain. Just one of those days right now that just feel out of place. Usually, even with a gun, you know, usually I feel completely fine. This time, I don't. You heard that, right? Okay, they're following me. Probably have to give my last will and testament on here, just in case. I mean, these are areas that, you know, very few people travel in. I mean, if somebody died right here, there's a good chance you wouldn't find that person for a long time, if ever. I mean, I do have a GPS on my phone, a signal, so, hey, look at that. 2 of them. What does that mean? Just weird to me. So that means basically, if I go down, somebody's gonna have to find me. I'm gonna put it on behind me, so you can see that something's not tagging along. This is insane. I'm not used to this at all. Somewhere. Somewhere in here. Alright. I need to film in front. I think man, I can still all those things ringing in my ear. Just those little sounds that you know what they are. hear them anymore, so. Found this, what looks like a damn beaver den, but all the sticks are broken. They aren't placed. Freaks me the hell out. There's got to be some kind of a nest of some kind. It may be covered, the entrance may be hidden. I don't know. I just know nobody does that ever. See, it almost looks like this is where it's been hidden. I mean, it's a lot of work for whatever they're doing. I just hope nothing's in there. Came across up in here. And I think it was the start of one, but was never finished. You know, I'm not sure. I just know, I'm sure they need some kind of cover up in here when it gets cold and rains and all that. Homemade weird structure thing, .com stuff. I don't know what it is. It's just really weird. It's like intertwined and made for who knows what. It's kind of creepy in here. Out in the middle of nowhere, in this weird, I don't know what it is. It's not been carved, it's been broken. Just shows up in the middle of nowhere, just kind of off the road. I mean, that looks like a bunker of some kind. I don't know what that is. Anyway, that's weird as hell to me anyway. Okay, so look at that thing that's been broken about 3 feet up, 4 feet up. And how thick this crap is. I mean, if you tried to run through this, you'd be done. See, and there's things broken this high up. I don't know what that is. Probably some kind of shroom. Maybe I'll eat that and see what happens. Kidding. Look how that's down. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Look at that. That's weird. Those trees are all lined. All uniform. I mean, look at that. This is weird. I mean, this is probably man-made, but still. I mean, you just don't see this every day. Right, I don't see any fire pit. I don't know, they probably got it run off. I don't know, maybe not. This is just deep. I mean, deep. You get lost in here, you'll freeze to death. This selfie stick about to fall apart. So, anyway, there's a lot of weird things in here, like this pit. It just shows up out of the blue. Okay, now, I'm no expert in the realm of mushrooms, but I have a pretty good idea that might take you to a whole new level. Hallucination, and whatever else might go along with it. So, No, I ain't gonna touch it. Ground's been torn up. Digging for something, I don't know what. Alright, we're gonna try to find another arrowhead. It's getting late. I'm gonna go out tonight with the thermal imaging camera. That ought to be interesting. If I don't come back, we all know why. Those people that built my cabin were slobs. Drank, they threw their cans. I just don't understand people like that. I don't understand people like that. Why would you even bother? I got blue jays screaming at me because I put out some food. Just go eat it. But anyway, I know a lot of you don't like arrowhead hunting, but man, I do. It's really kind of one of those, it's kind of like a, you know, an acquired thing. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do. Look, see how they chip? There's usually more than one in any given location. Wherever you find one, there's going to be more because that's where they were chipping them. The cool thing is, though, is the obsidian isn't from this area. There is no, there's no mines, there's no rock. It's not indigenous to this area, if that's the right word, but it's not from here. I think the nearest obsidian mine or area is like 50 miles away. So they would have had to been packed in some kind of a satchel or something similar. Anyway, just a little info. I really don't know if it matters, but I mean, I'm no czar when it comes to arrowhead hunting. I'm sure there's been thousands of people that do it better than I do, but I do enjoy it. And I know some of you do. That's why I put it at the end, because some of you could care less, and so, you know, I put it at the end so those that do like it, they can watch, and the rest can just, you know, turn it off. I mean, I might as well film it if I'm out here doing it. It's not that difficult. That one area that I go to a lot up there, man, there's a lot of arrowheads there. I mean, a lot. That place is like just thousands, literally. And I haven't even but barely touched the surface. But I think that area right there was a massive game trail that moved through there. As a matter of fact, I'm sure of it. And so that's where they always went and hid and made their arrows, made their tips, and that's where they would hunt. However, there's always going to be an arrowhead or two that gets chipped, that won't work, or they shoot at something and they miss and it hits a rock, or they can't find it, or, I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's also like with pottery, Indian pottery. They would shatter their bowls when they would leave. So any pots that they had, they would break so nobody else could use them when they would move. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe somebody can enlighten me. That's just what I've heard, and that's why you find them broken all the time. Some are whole, but that would have to be in some kind of a domicile or a structure that they lived under. Anyway, I don't profess to know all there is to know about that, so I just think finding arrowheads is like, you know, you can't really compare it to anything because there's nothing to compare it to. It's kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to get something that compares to it, like a treasure hunt, but with actual treasure, not money. And if you find the right one, you know, your adrenaline spikes, and then you go on to the next one. Plus, you're touching things that Native Americans touched a long, long time ago, which to me is awesome. You know, they were making arrowheads, they lived off the land, they did all that, you know, and they made it work. And so just to be able to touch that and to know somebody else was there is pretty cool to me. I mean, some people could care less, but for me, that's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people go through a lot of things, and I'm sure a lot of these people went through some serious shit to get through. I can't even imagine. I mean, we think we have it hard. We have no damn clue. See, these are the things I don't understand. I mean, look at that mound. And this is semi-close to my cabin. There's no road here. There's nobody that's put a big pile of stuff here. It's just way away. And it's not a huge pile. It's a semi... I just don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, to me it looks like some kind of a grave, but I don't know. I mean, it could be something else. I mean, one guy was telling me that the burial mounds a lot of times is where they keep their arrowheads and all their stuff, and very well may be. I know that in the South there's a lot of burial mounds, and they have a lot of pots, a lot of things like that. But they also have giants and skeletons that are, you know, 9 feet tall. And see, that's the stuff that just blows me away. But anyway, I won't go into that because I'm looking for arrowheads. And so I'm sure mounds weren't just in that area. I think it was passed on, kind of like the whole Sasquatch thing. If you look at how they are, I think they mimic the Native Americans back then. And I know some of the stories were brutal, but I think they've learned over time that they won't win if they decide to be aggressive. And also, I don't think men in general, look at that, are as brutal and so anxious to shoot as we were back then. So I think it's kind of been one of those things where it's just slowly curbed itself into respect and, you know, learning. Don't mess with me, I won't mess with you, but let's learn, try to figure out what's going on. You know, I'll learn from you, you learn from me. Let's make everything as good as it can be. You know, and I'm sure there's always the rogue in both humans and Sasquatch. There's just no way around that. There's always some kind of nut job. But I don't know. Yeah, and I like to talk a lot, so you're gonna have to just deal with it. It's my way of getting through all this silence. I think ultimately if a guy had the desire to film one of these beings like I do, I mean, I'm sure there's people that have way more desire than I do. I just have the luck of it being close to where I have my cabin. Because if it wasn't that close, I'm not sure how much of this I would do. I mean, I'd be obsessed, I'm sure, but I wouldn't be up here this much. There's no way. And so, you know, I think a lot of it falls to luck, or, you know, just the kind of thing where you happen to be at the right place at the right time, or your area is in the right place at the right time. So, and I think there's a lot of different types, just like there are human. You know, some people are adaptable with, you know, around the water. Some people are more adaptable in the desert, and others are more adaptable in the rainforest, and the list goes on. And so, I can't believe we haven't found anything. And so, I think everything is adaptable to a point. We all try to figure out what's best, what's going to make life easier. I mean, like here, for example, pine nut season, and I'm going to get a bunch of pine nuts this year too, by the way. I'll show them to you. Pine nut season is huge because of the calories and the amount of pine nuts. You could technically gather pine nuts and live off of them. There's that many calories in them. But the other thing is, there's so much game out here. I mean, just huge amounts of game that, depending on how often they need to eat, or, you know, I'm sure they respect the animals because that's their source of food. But at the same time, they know where it would make it easier to eat. I mean, nobody wants to be out starving trying to find something to eat. And here, you can even see on my trail cams, they're everywhere, and they're big. And it just happens to be an area that doesn't fit the natural profile. But I don't even know what the natural profile is. I mean, if I was one of them, this is where I would be. You know, it's warmer, at least during the summer. Winters are brutal, but you're not running through hip tall grass all the time, you know, and your tracks can't be found hardly ever. And so, you know, it makes total sense to me. But I wouldn't have thought that, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. I would have said, yeah, you guys are insane thinking that way. There's no such thing. But, wow, have I changed. And it makes total sense now. But anyway, I'm kind of disappointed in the arrowhead situation right now. I mean, I usually never go this long without finding something that's been chipped on. Huh. There was a guy that had a trailer over here just north of me. He was an old guy. He's probably dead by now, but he had piles and piles of obsidian flint that had been chipped on, and some arrowheads just laid out in his front yard, just strewn. And the trailer was beat down. So basically, he came up here and retired, and that's all he did, was go out looking for arrowheads. So I think some of the areas closest to him have been scoured. But you can scour an area all you want, but you're still going to miss things. And it's right next to my other property over there. So I picked up as much as I could that I thought was decent. Most of it was just flint. And I kept it. Maybe make a mosaic or something out of it. I have all these plans. Oh, let's make this, let's make that. Yet, I don't have time for shit. Pardon my French, but you know me. Anyway, at least I don't swear, at least I don't swear the big ones. I don't get too personal. However, I do think people that do that, I mean, he was picking up shards of flint that had nothing, absolutely nothing. Dang. Absolutely nothing to do with an arrowhead. I mean, it was chipped and broke, but it was never tried. What the hell is that? To be an arrowhead. It was more of just a chip that came off when somebody was trying to build it, which could happen. And there's thousands of those everywhere. But he collected all of them. Which kind of pisses me off because the kids, they would like to come out here and even find those, See a piece of flint, look at it and say, oh, cool. Look what we found. But instead, it's been picked over. Although, you all saw what I had earlier. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, if I find anything, I'll click this back on. There's a piece there. There's got to be more right here. Somewhere. Ooh, there's one. Right there. Huh. Okay, I know what it is. It's not an arrowhead, though. No, it's just a piece of flint. Is that another one? No. This is just outside of my cabin. A little ways. There's some more right there. Now find me an arrowhead. Obviously they were chipping. There's a little piece there too. Huh. I know after it rains is a really good time to go look because they shine even more. And when they start shining is when you can tell just by the way they look on the ground if it's an arrowhead. Like broadheads, they come up into a V or into basically a diamond is what they look like. The entire arrowhead, kind of like the broadheads we shoot now. There's some more. I mean, look at all this. There's even a white one. I gotta find an arrowhead. See, there's another piece. There's a white one. It's not an arrowhead, boy. Or just chips. What's cool is all this stuff happened thousands of years ago, and it's neat because then you can go and you can go touch what they touched, especially the arrowheads. They probably got really pissed when one tip would break off, or their little neck that they used to tie on to an arrow would break off, and then they'd have to throw it away and start over, the new one. I think sometimes that's what they did with when they made littler arrowheads. One of the bigger arrowheads would get broke at the base or something, and they would just chip away that broken piece and add those ears back on, and then you'd have another broadhead or arrowhead, but it would be smaller. Anyway, it's crazy that's most of it's just right back there. There's got to be more though. Man, I found so many arrowheads up here, it's just not even funny. Heck, I could just come do this most of the time if I didn't have some kind of a luring battle within. Because I can't just let the Bigfoot thing go. It's just not. It's not in there. I wish it were. It'd be so easy not to have to deal with that, not to have to waste my time, not have to drive and hike a million miles. I mean, the hiking's brutal, but it'll keep you in shape, but it's still brutal. I don't care how good a shape you get in, it's just brutal. When it's hot, you're walking. I'm gonna walk up this way, maybe do like a circle. Anyway, this is probably going to be on the back end of the video because there's a lot of people that bitch about me showing it walking around in the dirt. People that haven't done it, you need to go out and do it. Once you find one arrowhead, your whole life's going to change. You'll get outside more, you'll hike more, and not only that, but you're finding things that you can save that won't get ruined by development or being walked on or just being buried after time, become the earth again. And there's no possible way anybody could find every arrowhead that's out there. There's just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them. Some of the better locations would be closer to a river, or in a really, like a place where the game is substantial. Like here, they're everywhere because there's game in here everywhere. And I've shown you trail cam videos of that, and there's just, ooh, what the hell? Are you shitting me? Look at that. See? Now that, my fellow explorer, is almost a perfect arrowhead. It doesn't get much better than that. I'm just telling you. Crap, and I almost walked past it. Man, I'm getting pretty good at this. No, I'm just lucky. Holy crap, that's... wow. That was just me on film hiking around and found it. I mean, is that not crazy? Let's go back and see, maybe they dropped another one. Right there. Wow, that is just... man. I could sit out here and do this all day long and into the night. I'm not kidding either. If I didn't have a hike to go on today, this afternoon, I'd do this all day. I guarantee I'd find 2 or 3 more. I guarantee it. Jeez, what are the chances of that. I found a lot of pieces that have been chipped on the camera, but I've never found an arrowhead that good on camera. I found better arrowheads, but not much better than that. My collection's getting pretty deep. Trying to make a shadow box to put everything in, so anyway. What's funny is some of you like my voice and me talking, and others despise it, which they just don't like me talking. It's not that they don't like my voice, they just don't like me talking, which is what I do. It gets too quiet sometimes when you're not, and you can hear everything anyway. And it's not like they're not going to hear you, or they're not going to see you. That's being asinine. There's no way they're going to see you before you even get close. Anyway.